Greetings in the name of Jah Rastafari. The Magador Silver Weekend Review, that's the title. I'll hold up this lanyard, give it a close look. It was at the Trump Hotel in Las Vegas, and they have me as from the 51st state, which I loved. There were other Canadians there too. Our country's under siege, as many of you know, by the globalists, so that's why our presence was well felt there, and they enjoyed having us. And I just feel it was such a great honor to have the privilege. I was invited by Juan O'Savin, and I had the privilege to attend this Magador Silver Weekend. By the way, the Gold Weekend was the weekend before, but there were big UFC fights, and initially Trump was going to come in for that, but there was so much security, and as it turned out, because of global situations, President Trump couldn't attend the Gold Weekend. And Nino was at that one, as was Man of Truth, so I missed those two, and I regret that, but I'll catch them because we're going to be doing more of these sorts of things. The main theme of the event, hosted in the presidential suite atop the tallest building in Vegas, the theme was 2020, it's not over yet. Apparently Juan sang that on the Saturday too, but I missed it. I had flight delays, and I missed the connection in Seattle as a result of the delays, and I arrived late on Saturday night. And I was on my way to retire for the evening. It was after 11, and I saw this bearded man come out of the elevator with cowboy boots on, carrying a kid by the side of the road. And I said, "Juan!" And he looked at me, and I said, "It's Aaron Day." And he said, "Aaron," and he shook my hand, and he said, come here, let's sit down." And we sat in these beautiful leather chairs in the Trump lobby, Trump Hotel. And I was able to have a really good first meeting with him. It lasted maybe 15 minutes, but he had a group waiting, and he brought the book down to sign. So, you know, it was just an incredible first introduction, and he recognized me from my videos and was talking about how he felt it was really necessary and that they're working and that it's a good job. I said, "Juan, man, they're so Juan-centric. My channel's tiny. I lost my bigger channel already." And he said, "But he said, still, it's helping, and people are liking it." So we talked for about 15 minutes. And I was so excited by this meeting and how well we got along and everything that we talked about. When we stood up, he offered his hand to shake, and I gave him a hug. It was just like compulsive. And we patted each other's back. And that's a Brazilian thing too, by the way. Men in Brazil always greet each other with a big hug and back slapping and all that. But this man is so considerate and so genuine. And I was able to observe him in the crowd because there were 50 of us over the weekend. And he treats everyone exactly the same. There's not a hint of pretense. He has no arrogance whatsoever. As a matter of fact, he's quite funny, and he's lighthearted. He makes light of everything, and some of it's as serious as a heart attack, as you know. But he's very even-handed, and he doesn't like any kind of discussion of, "Hey, when are we going to arrest them?" or "Let's do this or that." No, everything is very methodical, very thought through. So Sunday was the final day of what was a 10-day event for Juan and his team. And on the Sunday, which was a couple days ago, was the reveal of a painting by the awesome Mrs. 07, Jennifer Mack. And it's a depiction of Juan working his wonders in the midst of the storm. And it is brilliant. I mean, you're going to see it all over the internet pretty soon. It's extraordinary artwork. It's just so cool. You're going to love it. And it'll be all over the place. You'll see it really soon. But that's not why I was there. I didn't go for that. I mean, I was there because I wanted answers to the questions. And personally, I wanted to thank Juan. You know, I really, that was kind of what got me there. And I told him, if it hadn't been for your voice talking me off the ledge, you know, I probably would have moved back to Brazil or jumped off the ledge, one or the other. But it was because of Juan, and I know that a lot of us feel the same way, as he's that voice in the wilderness that helps us realize that we are winning and we're going to win. But it's just a bitch fight that we're in. So the private briefing, though, on the Saturday, wow, it was super serious. You know, it wasn't somber, but it was really, really serious. And because the main speaker was Lloyd Brunson, and he had with him Mark Cook. And Mark is the leading expert on election integrity, and the work that this man has done is amazing. And all of this stuff ties together by you. There isn't one incident that needs to be cracked open and fixed. It's a series. And there is a plan in series for things to happen in a specific way that maintains the 81% consensus rating that has been built over all of these years. So we are winning. Just don't you know, forget that for a second. But so Lloyd Brunson, it was so great to hear him speak and explain what's coming, and it is incredible. The White Hats have a series of moves that are nothing short of stunning what's coming. It'll start with the Russia collusion hoax, but then there's several bombs in succession, and one sort of opens the way for the next, and they tie together. But what has to happen is the Trump appointees, they need more time to place their appointees. As you know, Trump chooses 1,000 and each of them choose 10. So his entire cabinet is 10,000, and we're not there. We're quite a ways. But everyone has to be in position before the first bomb drops. So we must be patient. Lots work needs to happen. And today, the JFK files are released. So this is all part of the sequence. And you'll see, it'll all make sense as we go along further. And each of these things have to run their course. But before, and that all has to happen before we can tackle the big elephant in the room, which you can't say here, but it is, of course, crimes against the little ones. And Juan did actually talk about the work of Robert David Steele, and he expanded on that and put everybody at ease that that work would be fully used as we go forward. He mentioned Scott Bennett, and that's kind of a sad thing I won't get into, but he updated us on that. He talked about Tina Peters. She's been released from solitary confinement, and there's some health risks happening with Tina, so pray for her, because this has been, like, she's shouldered this, folks. It's amazing. That woman is such a hero, and Gold Star mom, as you know. So Tina's now been out of, and her health is improving, but we're still really, really concerned. Then we were briefed on some major intel that's international issues. It includes South Korea and some stuff about Africa, but I'm not at liberty to discuss that. However, you'll find out soon enough. Yesterday was the 17th day, and it was so lucky for me. St. Patrick's Day, I had the luck of the Irish. Man, I won a lottery. I was able to have breakfast with Juan. Everyone had left, basically, and all the attendees had gone. And he came down at 8:30 in the morning, and I had a 90-minute breakfast. And when I said I'm checking out, he said, well, let me give you a ride to the airport. I said, Juan, you're way too important to be driving me to the airport. And he said, no, actually, I like to get out and drive around anyway. And often, you know, that's where he makes his videos. But I had an incredible morning with Juan, and he's so kind and generous. It's just an amazing man, and some of the things that I learned during that were nothing short of astounding again. But he asked me if we could collaborate, and of course, how could I say no? I'd love to. And this is part of the collaboration, is we'll fill you in more, but I consider myself somewhat of a scout, where I'm able to help people understand the signal from the noise. And you know what, I'm a big Nino fan. I never miss anything on Nino, so I'm able to promote these different various things. But what I want everyone to know is that the key takeaway is he is genuine and sincere. God and country. God first. He's an extremely spiritual man, despite his humor and his candor and his sarcasm. He is spiritual. It's insane being around him. His level of knowledge, his experience, the people he knows, and how he can put it all into a dialogue and explain it to the rest of us is, you know, we are so lucky, and all of us have to up our game now because we're in the thick of this storm. It's not going to be easy these months moving ahead, and there's no illusion about that amongst any of us, and he wants me to make that clear to everyone too, is have things ready, food and everything in your house, because we got a long fight ahead of us. But we are winning, and just know that with him involved in helping us, we forward in this generation triumphantly. Thank you for watching.